What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Zuggy Zone, the only show where two buffoons try to make sense of the sports world. I'm Zuggy. He's Jet. Jet, how we doing
Howdy,
today?
howdy, folks. Doing phenomenal. You know what's great? Don't got classes tomorrow morning. I don't gotta go in till like 11 o'clock. And it's Thursday night football. It is Bills versus the Dolphins tonight. And it's probably gonna be one-sided, but I'm ready to see Bills put belt to ass to the Dolphins. I don't know about you.
I'm just hoping
I'm
we
excited.
stay healthy, don't get anybody injured. We're already down two guys on defense, but I know we
Mm,
both have a bet in Battle of the Bets. One of our parlay legs has to do with a certain running back on the Bills, so we'll get to that later on in the show. But we're going to open things up with the weekly wrap-up where we talk about the three biggest stories of the week that we wanted to touch on. Of course, they are in the sports world, and look, the first one is something that we both feel pretty strongly about. There's been a lot of talk about Tom Brady doing some things
mm,
that people haven't been super happy about. Because if you didn't know, other than being one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, if not the greatest, he's now an analyst for Fox on their number one announcing team. He's also a minority owner of the Las Vegas Raiders, which means he gets pre-production meetings where he gets to talk to a lot of players and coaches and gets their thoughts and opinions on things. Except he's also in direct contact with the Raiders coaches and that organization. So there's people calling for that thing to maybe stop happening. And Jet, what are your thoughts on it?
So the funny part is with commentator privileges, whenever you're at that level, you also get to talk to other coaches and you get to talk to other players and you get in their mindset and get to hear their mindset and stuff. That is a conflict of interest. That is, oh my god. Journalistic integrity is out the window, and Tom Brady, you're a piece of shit because you know what you're doing. I have that is awful. I am a journalist major, and that's the thing is if I were to ever compete, I cannot report on it. Not saying I ever would, but that's how it goes. If I were to ever be in a sport, I cannot report on that sport because it's a conflict of interest. I'm going to be biased. It's human nature. And you understand that too because broadcast major. It is what it is. We cannot report on our own stuff. Brady retired. That's why he signed the deal to be a broadcaster before he retired. And then when he retired, he became a broadcaster, but then he wanted to be a minority owner, and then there was a huge issue with that. And then they're like, oh, well, okay, he could be a minority owner and all that. He, can't do anything in regards to the team. And then all of a sudden now, right, you see him in the coach's box at a game with his commentary headset on. Why? What the hell? And they even came out and they were like, so he is allowed in the coach's box, but he can't go into the locker room. He can't go to coaches' meetings and all that. I'm like, does that matter? Does that matter? He's in the coach's box during games. He's with the owners. They can hear everything. If anything, look at the Indianapolis Colts and the one woman who's standing on the sideline with earbuds in her ears. That is a conflict of interest. Look, I didn't care if you did Deflategate or whatever the hell, not my bag, right? I wasn't a Pats fan. I wasn't even a fan of that division. Now, Zoogie over here, he might have a bone to pick with you on that one, but me, I had no dog in the fight. I really couldn't care.
I
This,
mean, they stole a Super Bowl from St. Louis.
they did. They did. And, but now my rage for St. Louis football is towards Stan Kroenke, so you get a pass on that one for now, Brady. But this one, this is journalistic integrity. You are making, and I don't know if I'm overreacting, but you are making a mockery of broadcasting by just doing whatever you want and calling it a day. And you know you can bend the rules because you're the NFL's sweetheart. You are the NFL golden boy. They're not going to touch you. 7 Super Bowl rings? They're not going to do anything to you. Let's be real here. I. God.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Like, there were restrictions on him, but then the NFL came out this year and changed those restrictions. And I'm just bummed in general that, for one, he shouldn't have this job. Greg Olson was a really good number one analyst for Fox. So they gave Tom Brady the job strictly off of what he's done in the league and who he is and the ratings they're going to bring in. But Tom Brady's not as good as some of the other guys. He's getting it off of reputation. And then for him to come out here and get the position, it's like, okay, it's annoying, but now he's doing this stuff on the side. And it'd be one thing if it was Joe Buck, right? Okay, let's just say Joe Buck was an owner of the Denver Broncos, right? And he got to go to those meetings. Joe Buck is not the greatest quarterback of all time. The information that he gets and what he does with it is going to be different than how Tom Brady takes it. He's been in the league. He knows all the coach speak. He knows how to take that information and do the most with it. So, yeah, I mean, I'm with you on it. It's stupid. And you mentioned you don't care what Tom Brady did in the past, with Deflategate, whatever. I'm still mad because every player on that Patriots roster knew they were spying on practices. And I work with a gentleman at my school who actually worked on the Rams sideline during that Super Bowl. And a defensive, I believe it was one of our edge rushers, came over to the sideline, slammed his helmet down and said, "It's like they know what we're calling." So I know somebody was personally affected by them cheating. Tom Brady didn't speak out then. He's still doing scummy shit. This is just par for the course for the man.
Look, Brady, I get it. 7 Super Bowl rings. You're awesome. You're phenomenal. If you're going to be in that broadcast booth, you need to be in the broadcast booth. You should not be in a coach's box. You should not be anywhere near any sort of team-related anything while you are a broadcast. Which, by the way, you are still contractually obligated to for the next 8 years after this year. This is your second year in a 10-year contract. Why you decided to also become a partial owner of the Raiders and have that huge conflict of interest right at the start of your broadcast career, beyond me. But you need to get away from all of it. All of it. Stick to broadcasting. That's what you're getting paid for. Make that passive income on the side being their owner. Their fan base is delusional as ever. I think the only one more delusional is the Cowboys. You're thinking that they're semi-good. But I'm so dead serious, you are putting a bad name on journalism, on broadcasting, and on every part of that job because of how you are interfering. And yeah, I'm
with you on that. We're going to move into something that is a bit more positive and has to do with the team on my hat. Cal Raleigh's that guy. We all know Cal Raleigh's that guy this year because he just hit home run number 55 and number 56 on Tuesday in back-to-back innings, by the way, which means he broke Mickey Mantle's record for switch hitting home run total in a season, which, by the way, was set in 1961 because you don't see switch hitters a lot anymore, let alone switch hitters with power. Well, he's got it. He's got the power in his ass. He takes it to the bat, which goes to the ball over the fence. He's that guy, 56 home runs in a year, and he's still not going to win the MVP because Judge is really good after the injury. I was really thinking, when Judge got hurt, okay, Cal Raleigh's going to be the MVP. Well, Aaron Judge is just still that guy. So, look, Mariners won 10 straight games, a large part due to his bat. They got back in the division lead for the first time since June 1st. They're now in second, but they're playing today, and I believe they are still winning. Yes, they're winning 2-0. I mean, what can you say about the guy? He's hitting dongs. He's a great catcher. He's managing the pitching staff. He's finally breaking records, and he's getting the credit he deserves.
And, I love to see that he did it against the Kansas City Royals. I love that. Thank you, Cal Raleigh. That's amazing. But also, speaking of Aaron Judge, he is only 6 home runs behind Aaron Judge's record of 62 in a season in 2022, which is also the American League record. We've still got a week's left of games left. 6 home runs. And you can tie Aaron Judge for the season. I think it's possible. I 100% think it's possible. Not saying it will 100% happen. Not saying that it is the most realistic thing. But do I think that there is a possibility of it happening? Oh, yeah.
I just don't see it for a basic reason that they have 3 big games coming up against the Astros, and the Astros are not going to let Cal hurt them. If it's a big spot in the game, they're going to walk Cal Raleigh because they're actually smart. But he does get the Rockies after that, which, there you go, bad pitching. Could hit some homers in that series. And then he gets the final 3 games against the Dodgers, and the Dodgers are still trying to compete for the division. I get they've pulled away a bit, and I understand they're in a decent spot, but if they end up clinching, maybe they don't throw one of their top guys out there. Maybe they call someone up to fill in a game. Maybe Cal, final game of the season, ends up tying or breaking the record.
Shohei.
Yeah.
Maybe they rest Shohei.
I mean, I would. If I'm the Dodgers, I mean, if I clinch the division and I'm already got the bye, just bench everybody. I mean, yeah, it's like the end of the NFL season. You know, when someone's got the 1 seed locked up, their quarterback isn't going to play. They're going to rest everybody. No. It's like the preseason roster out there. But what I am huge on.
1 seed last season?
1 seed for football?
Yeah, for the AFC last season?
Wasn't it? It was the Chiefs because they won all those stupid 1-score games.
Oh, that's
They got their stupid bye again. And then the NFC, wasn't it? Was it the Eagles? That sounds right.
Yeah, it was the Eagles.
No, it was no. It was the Lions. It was the Lions, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
You're right, because they had that massive,
15-win season, crazy.
15-win season, and their last game was against Minnesota, and it was pretty much because they were both going into it with the same record, and whoever won got the 1 seed, and whoever lost got the 5 seed, and that's what people were saying they needed to redo the seeding for the playoffs because of that game.
Yeah, because then the Vikings had to go to the wild card because they didn't win the division. And it's like, bro, how was a 14-win team in the wild card? What are we doing? But, hey, that's like a one-off. You don't see that every year. Wild. But what I am impressed with Cal this year is not just the power, because the power has been crazy this year. I mean, 50 home runs, that's a lot of homers. But he's also getting on base. His OPS is up 50 points this year, and look, over a full season, let's just say you get 500 plate appearances, he got on base 30 times more. It's small, but it helps, especially if you're in the middle of the order, and helps with those big innings. He's not going out there and striking out every single time, which is what you see a lot of power hitters doing. So I really like that his contact skills are there, that he's not striking out a billion times, and that he's doing more than just hitting home runs for this team. And that is why the Mariners are in a race for the division this year, because without him on this roster, they're basically the St. Louis Cardinals. I mean, they're a mid-team that just maybe has a few stars. I mean, J-Rod's pretty good, have some decent pitching, but I don't think their record would be anywhere close to where they're at without this man doing what he's doing this year. But we're going to move into our final story, which has to do with the NHL. Jet, take it away.
So, first and foremost, this is just going to be a roundup of NHL news, because it's off soon. And honestly, I think we're both a little bit excited with how this season's going to go. But first, we're going to start with the Blackhawks signing goalie Spencer Knight to a 3-year, $17.5 million extension. Thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, sorry for the pause there. I was like, oh, surely it's going to be more. Nah, you were cueing me, and I missed my cue completely.
You're good.
He's not very old. I mean, he's a younger goalie that has upside to be a starter. He's 24. It's not just me. I think everybody looks at the Blackhawks and says they're not going to be a very good hockey team this year, but they're building towards the future, and you bring in a guy who has upside, even though he's never really shown that he can do it consistently. I mean, last year, 15 games with the Blackhawks, an .896 save percentage. It starts with an 8. That's never good. But the Blackhawks defense is abysmal, and that team as a whole gave up the second most goals in the league. So, is that a true test for Spencer? Is that fair to say that, those stats are very legitimate for you? No. But even when he was on the Panthers, I mean, I can read them off here for you. All the years he was there. 908, 901, 919. And the 919 was only in a few games in 2020. We're not counting that. Nothing that, pops off the page, and those were some really good Panthers teams. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't hate it. I like that you're trying to sign a guy that you're hoping for the future could be him. And you also just signed Wyatt Kaiser today to try to get some more defensive depth on your squad, which, hey, you can never have too much defense. I saw the Blues last year trotting out some of those guys like Justin Falk and Nick Leddy, and I wanted to shoot myself watching them play hockey. So bringing in some guys to supplement the roster is never a bad idea. You can never have too many young guys. And look, the Blackhawks right now, they're one of the top teams favored to maybe make a move for Kaprizov. they just drafted 3 guys in the first round this year. They have picks. They have capital. They have cap space. I'm just saying, keep an eye out, guys. I mean, the Blackhawks could be the team to do it.
We did talk about him last week and how high profile he is. I mean, he could go.
He wants to be in a big market. He wants to
He
get out of
does.
Minnesota. I know the Blackhawks are bad, but he'll be on a line with the Bedard probably. I mean, that's disgusting. Kaprizov and Bedard on the same line. You're talking about not quite to that level, but Draisaitl and McDavid. You're like a second to that. I mean, that'd be one of the top lines in hockey on a team that is really bad and needs something right now.
No, and I think, honestly, Chicago would be a great fit for him because at least he kind of stays in the same area. But we'll see. We'll see. Second up on that, the STL native and Stanley Cup champion, Matthew Tkachuk, unfortunately will be sidelined till December as he recovers from a surgery in the offseason from a sports hernia and a torn adductor muscle. Yikes.
No.
They do say that the timeline, however, is fluid for him to come back, but that's purely because of the benchmarks that he has to hit in preparation for returning. So he could come back sooner. He could come back much later. We don't know. I mean, how do you feel about that? Especially with him being such a critical... I mean, even in the Four Nations Cup, the Four Nations Cup, the Tkachuk brothers were on fire for the United States, and he's been one of their best players down in Florida. I mean, definitely that presence is going to be missed right off rip, right?
It's going to be. I mean, that's leadership that you just lost out of the locker room, and he is a guy that goes out there every game and gives it his all. You're down, you get a bad start in the game, and your offense doesn't look quite right. He'll fight somebody. He'll level somebody. He'll find somebody to hit and do it in a way that really gets the whole team behind him and turns the game around. And the Panthers will be fine. I mean, their roster is stacked, and they are maintaining talent because, as I talked about on past shows, taxes don't exist in Florida, so they can just sign players for less than market value, and they can keep more of their money. That's a different point entirely. But look, the roster's stacked. They're good. They've won back-to-back cups. They have great leadership. They're going to be fine. I am concerned about Team USA for the Olympics. Tkachuk needs to be healthy for the Olympics. We need to beat Canada. We need him on that roster, and we need him healthy. He's not the biggest goal scorer, but just having that physical presence to knock down their stars, to make sure that the McDavids of the world don't have a clear line of sight to the goal. They know, okay, if I go to the boards for this puck, I'm getting laid out. That is something that the U.S. needs to have. So I'm looking at that and saying we need him healthy, but the Florida Panthers should be fine. That is all, though, for the... No, it's not all for the weekly wrap-up. We have one more story. I am sorry.
One more.
All right, I'm just going to hit this one. Look.
Go for it.
We all know the Islanders are underwhelming. They are very underwhelming. They tried bringing in Patrick Waugh to be the head coach, and, it's had some successes and also a lot of drawbacks, including calling out one of your teammates, one of your players, who was very injured and also wasn't producing, and saying, dude, he's god-awful. He's not playing up to expectations. And then that player missing basically the rest of the year after that, taking a leave of absence. Patrick Waugh realized, dude, I screwed up, went to Anthony Duclair's house this offseason and said, I'm sorry. I didn't realize your injury was that bad. I want to repair things between us. And there's a lot of coaches that I think would not do that. I mean, that's being a man and talking to another man face-to-face, settling things. I think that's very professional of him. It was the right way to handle it. Do I think he's a great coach? Do I think he's the right fit for the Islanders? Probably not, but at least he tried to redeem himself and repair relations with one of his players.
I mean, look, as a coach, you have a responsibility to, yes, you can be harsh with your players and give them sort of a reality check, but to call him god-awful, that's harsh. That's real harsh. So, and... again, brownie points for driving to the dude's house in the offseason and apologizing to him. And thankfully, he, didn't request a trade or nothing, or he didn't really want to get back at you or whatever. He just said, let's just put this behind us because it's awkward. But that could have went multiple different ways. You cannot do that to your players. You have a responsibility as your as a coach to do exactly what your title says, and that is to coach them and to get them better and to understand your plan. And if you're just going to call them god awful because they don't conform exactly to what you want in the moment, you don't have any business being a coach.
Right. I mean, the Islanders were struggling. I mean, Duclair before the injury was, I mean, he's bounced around the league a bit. You know, he's been in the league for a while. He's never been a top guy, but he was okay before the injury. And then the next 39 games after the supposed injury, he only had 9 points. He was playing some pretty stinky hockey. But, like, there has to be a talk there. There has to be some communication. They're like, Coach, I'm hurt. You maybe give me some games off, some less minutes. Because he was playing, like, 16 minutes a night while being injured. So there has to be some communication there. I get it. Hockey's a men's league. Like, the NBA, the players have a lot of say over the coach and over the GM. And hockey, the players have basically no say. You listen to what your coach says. You listen to your GM. You don't complain. You don't bitch. You don't whine. But that was a moment where maybe he should have stepped up and been like, Coach, I can't do it. I can't do it, man. But still, mishandled.
I need a game or two. I need to take a game.
Yeah, literally. And I think that's going to wrap up our weekly wrap-up segment. I mean, hell, if you guys want to send us some story ideas, something you want us to cover, we exist. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're here on YouTube. We have a live chat. I won't be able to read the live chat for about the next 30 minutes. But, Jet, I think you got that covered because we are going to move into our special segment, which is Pick'ems.
Yes,
it's football
sir.
season. And after last week, here are the current records for both of us. I am 24-8. Jet is 21-11. You're down 3 early in the year. It's hard to make decisions in week 1 and week 2. And this week, I think there are some easy matchups that shouldn't be ones where we're like, damn, this was really hard to pick. These should be a little bit easier. And let's start with tonight. Buffalo Bills taking on the Miami Dolphins at home. I got the Bills for obvious reasons. Jet, what are you thinking?
I mean, I mean, is it really a question? Buffalo or Miami? Look, I predicted at the beginning of the season that Buffalo was going to be, or not Buffalo, but Miami was in a culture crisis. They were not going to do good. They were going to be downright dog awful. And I think, honestly, I did pretty good. So, I think going into week 3, Buffalo is 3-0. Let's go, Buffalo.
Yes, sir.
And Miami Dolphins, you're 0-3. And Mike McDaniels, you are on the hot seat, my friend. Correction, you're already on the hot seat. But that interim coach pick is about to take over week 4. So you better pull something out this week or you're gone. I'm sorry. That's just the way that it is.
That's fair.
Coaches have gotten fired for a lot less. And Mike McDaniels, you have had a stroke of luck with how long you have kept this coaching job. If you start the season 0-3 and your third loss is a division rival, yeah, you're done, dude. You're gone. Bye.
Dude, like,
Bye.
Earlier this week in his presser, and I'm going off of memory here, but I believe he said, to win games, you have to win games. This guy's lost the plot. Mike Daniels, just get out of here. Pack your stuff. Get out, man. Like, none of the Dolphins fans want to keep you. Okay. And take the GM with you while you're at it, man.
I got it right here. You ready? The exact quote from the presser. To win games, you have to win the game, not lose the game. Mike McDaniels, after losing to the Patriots. Insight, ladies and gentlemen.
That's an NFL head coach right there.
That is top tier.
Now, I will say,
my
this game, the Bills are playing a little injured. We're missing some players here and there. And I think Devon Achan's going to have a great game. If you have him in fantasy tonight or you want to bet overs on stuff, he is a man to look at. He's in my battle of the bets this week. He could be a difference maker here, and Tua looked better last week, but still. All right, second game that we got to pick on. The Green Bay Packers, the Cleveland Browns. The Packers have made a fool of 2 of the NFC top contenders to start the year. I mean, that Thursday night game last week, you can look at the score. If you're a box watching, you're like, it was kind of close for a while. Nah, it just wasn't. The Packers manhandled the Commanders. They manhandled the Lions week 1. Do you really think the Brownies wearing their poo-poo brown helmet this week? Because, yes, they are wearing full brown, and it's sponsored by Dude Wipes. That is the thing that's happening. Cleveland, what are we
I can't
doing?
believe that. That's an actual. That
yeah.
is an actual.
So yeah,
I always forget they're sponsored by Dude Wipes, but I mean it works.
so the Poo Poo Browns versus a Super Bowl contender. I'm gonna take the Super Bowl contender in this one.
I'm gonna take the Super Bowl contender. And, look, there's no disagreements on these first two matchups. If you pick anyone other than Green Bay in this matchup, you're wrong. You're dead wrong.
Yeah, literally.
I'm sorry. Them adding Micah Parsons, we talked about it a lot. Apparently, them adding Micah Parsons was the final piece that they needed, because, my God, you beat the Lions, and it's not like you slightly beat the Lions. No, you beat the brakes off the Lions. And then you do the same thing to the Commanders, and now you get the Brownies week 3. That's a gimme. That's like college when the season starts, and they have those the little colleges play like the SEC or the Big Ten teams. It's just like gimme games, essentially. That's what this is. That's all this is. This is Green Bay's gimme game for the season. That's all it is. So yeah, give me Green Bay all the way. Green Bay all the way.
I will say, Jordan Love is going to have a good game. The Browns, I mean, you saw it last week. I get it wasn't necessarily part of the Ravens' game plan. The Ravens didn't run the ball very well. And then week 1, the Bengals didn't run the ball very well. So, for a team that's been running the ball decently well this year for the Green Bay Packers, you might have to go through the air a bit more. And, last week Lamar cooked them. I mean, he absolutely demolished the secondary of the Browns. So just do the same thing. I mean, I know Jordan Love's not Lamar, but come on. Yeah, it's the Browns.
Accurate.
You got to take care of business.
He can throw deep. He's accurate. So, I mean...
Yeah.
I have no doubt in my mind Green Bay will away with this. If you think Green Bay loses this game... then again, who knows? I picked Colts week 1 and somehow got that one right.
Well, we got another Colts game.
Speaking of the Colts,
yeah. What do you got?
Colts.
Yeah,
110%. I got the Colts again. Oh, are you kidding me? There's no shot I am taking Tennessee in a million years. Cam Ward, you're doing great, and I wish you would have gotten better than the Titans. Because your talent is why you went number 1 overall, and you are a phenomenal quarterback. It sucks your talent is going to get wasted on the Tennessee Titans. You're going to have to do exactly what, oh, God. Oh, yeah, no, you're going to have to do what Derrick Henry did. I forget, Derrick Henry was from the Titans. Dude knew his draft stock, dude knew his stock, dude knew what to do. And he was like, hey, I'm tired of losing. I'm done with this. Bye. And he left, and look, he did better.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I mean, you can't take the Titans here. I was walking in Walmart parking lot earlier today. I was picking something up, and I stepped in throw up. And that throw up looked better than the Titans roster. I'm not going to lie. Realistically. Smelled better, too. That team is bad. That team is very, very, very bad. I still can't believe you took them week 1, but it's redeemed. You were trying to make a funny. It's whatever. You've learned. I know you can't take the Titans here, but let's talk about the big story. Daniel Jones looks decent. This is a shocker to everybody. And we clowned on it before the year. We had a show where we talked about AR being benched, Daniel Jones coming in. I'm getting big Derek Carr vibes from a year ago, week 1 and 2 for the Saints, where they looked like world beaters. I don't know if it is sustainable, but this actually does feel like it could keep going. I mean, the Colts are a better team. They have a better O-line. Shane Steichen was hired because of his ability to develop quarterbacks. He might be doing it here with Daniel Jones. But it's also, week 3, so who's to say if it's actually going to last?
Let's not get too ahead of ourselves, but week 3, I think this is another gimme game, and especially in my sleeper fantasy, I'll say this. I have Joe Burrow and Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy might be back, but I have lost both my quarterbacks essentially for the week, and I needed a replacement. So I picked up Daniel Jones, and I also picked up Daniel Jones in our league.
Yeah.
I'm out Joe Burrow again.
Dude, I mean...
I banked so much on Burrow, and he went down. I'm so upset.
Indiana Jones is one of the coldest nicknames I've heard in a while. That is a really, really good nickname. Hopefully he keeps playing up to it. I want him to succeed. I mean, we clowned on him because it's Daniel Jones. But
Oh, yeah.
you're seeing with some structure around him, he actually might be a decent quarterback. But this game will not feature any decent quarterbacks. You got Jake Browning going up against Carson Wentz. Bengals, Vikings. And I'm going to be real with you. I'm taking the Vikings in this one strictly because of coaching. Look at the rosters, right? Both of them are coming off of different things. Okay, the Bengals had a big win over the Jags, and Jake Browning came in, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and the Vikings looked like dog. But Kevin O'Connell was a competent head coach, and Zach Taylor's been bailed out by high-end talent his entire career. I shouldn't take the Vikings here. It feels weird to do it. I'm going to take the Vikings because Carson Wentz doesn't have to do a whole lot for them to get the W in this one, although they do have a running back hurt. And you're going to see potentially some Cam Akers snaps. So it's going to be interesting.
For Minnesota?
Minnesota.
Jordan Mason.
Well, I mean, Jordan Mason's going to be RB1, but you might see some snaps from a new face because they signed another running back this week.
Oh, that's right. They did, didn't they?
So if you're looking for someone in fantasy, like you're like in a 16-man league and you're like, damn, I don't have anybody for this week. Well, you know, he's there. He might get 2 points, but it's better than no points.
Exactly. Give me Cincy.
Yeah.
Give me Cincy. Look, it's not just because I'm a Cincinnati fan. That does help. But I mean, Carson Wentz, that's my big fallout with that. You look at Carson Wentz last year, anytime that he went in for the Chiefs, awful, terrible, couldn't place the ball anywhere. Jake Browning may not be QB1 caliber, right? He's still more of a competent backup than what Carson Wentz is. And Minnesota, while they're good, they rely very heavily on deep ball. They rely very heavily on getting it to Justin Jefferson and getting the yak. I don't know if Carson Wentz will get it there. Now, obviously, again, Cam Akers, Jordan Mason, run game, and I think Minnesota has a very good run game, and I honestly think that their run game is going to be better than Cincinnati's, but I think Cincinnati, between T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Andre Iosivas, I think that they're going to air it out a little bit more. I think the 3 interceptions were a little bit of a fluke. I think that was just like, I didn't expect to be in the game, right, so he's like trying to get them back into it competitive. I think going into it, he's going to have that better mindset. I'm taking Cincy all the way.
I'm just going to say, man, if Kevin O'Connell can fix Sam Darnold, he can make Carson Wentz look passable at least for a week. It's a tall ask. It's going to be one of the biggest miracles he's ever worked. But he can do it. I have faith that he can somehow get Carson Wentz to look good enough in this one. But this next one is another kind of a 50-50 game upon some people I've talked to. I'm taking the upset, which I don't believe to be an upset. I'm taking the Pats over the Steelers. And look, the Steelers made Sam Darnold, who did not look good week 1, look pretty good. And Drake May is starting to look better. I mean, week 1, he was... Week 2 against the Dolphins looked pretty passable. He's playing with house money right now. I mean, hell, there's not a lot of pressure on the man. You got a team that's motivated, that's playing good football, and Aaron Rodgers didn't look all that good last week. He takes some sacks. He can't move, and the Patriots lead the league in sacks so far this year. So if they can get pressure on Rodgers, he can't get the ball to Metcalf. He can't get the ball to his other receivers, and that's just going to ruin their game plan on offense. And their defense wasn't good last week. So I'm taking the Patriots here. I know it's weird. I don't want to take the Pats as a Bills fan, but they're also not a threat for the division, so I guess it doesn't hurt to take them.
No, not at all. And, all right, we'll look at it. Aaron Rodgers played the Jets week 1. And the Jets fought hard, but then, they lost their QB week 2, all that. Seattle is not completely incompetent. The Jets are known as one of those one of the worst franchises out there. Seattle's not. Seattle's never really been like one of those god-awful. There have been times where they're not good, but they've never been awful. So I think that's another reason why he walked away with the loss. New England, new coach, new quarterback, better O-line, better receivers. They have built this Pats team through and through to get past that Brady era, to get past that Belichick era. They are in the Mike Vrabel era. And honestly, Mike Vrabel should have never left the Tennessee Titans when he was coach.
Wasn't his fault. I mean,
No,
the
it wasn't.
management chose the GM over him, and it's like, what are we doing? I mean, you've seen what the Titans have done since. They've been awful.
Nothing. So yeah, no, give me the Pats. Pats 110%. There's no shot.
All right, so we are in the 26% then. I mean, 74% of people going with the Steelers, but on our show, I believe the poll says New England. So, I mean, here in the Zuggy Zone side of the football world, we're on the Patriots train this week.
Oh, yeah.
But we got a big game here. A rematch from the playoffs a year ago. You got the Eagles, you got the Rams. But the Eagles just kind of bitched the Chiefs on a day where the Eagles didn't play that good. They didn't look great. And they also beat the Cowboys without Jalen Carter to start the year. In that game, Hurts didn't have to do anything special either. They just stuck to the game plan. The Rams are a better football team, but I got to take the Eagles here. It just doesn't feel like a game where the Rams are going to be able to pull it out. And the Rams let the Titans kind of hang around last week. If you have a first half like that against the Eagles, you're going to be down 20 by halftime. So, I mean, McVay's a good coach, but I got to take the Eagles here.
No, and the Eagles, they are the shades of the Chiefs about a year or two ago. Coming off a Super Bowl win, and they are absolutely dominating. They're doing great. They're phenomenal. The Rams have always been consistently good since moving to the LA area. They've been consistently good, but I mean, I don't see it getting past. I don't see it getting past the Philly fucking defense. They've built that defense brick by brick to be one of the most explosive powerhouse defenses ever. Give me Philly. Give me Philly all day long.
All right, well, we're going to move on to our next game here. And look, I'm a Bills fan. I remember what Tyrod Taylor did for our franchise. I mean, he helped break the curse. He got us into the playoffs. But you're going up against a team that is kind of fancying themselves as a contender in the NFC this year in the Buccaneers. You have to take this Jet squad and elevate them to a different level to win this football game. And Tyrod Taylor's a career backup. I just don't think he can do it. We got to take the Bucs here.
Oh, yeah. Baker Mayfield, the absolute unit of Baker Mayfield from last week. I mean, went down, you could see him kind of hugging his knee. CJ Gardner-Johnson came, stood over him, and talked for like all of 2 seconds. And immediately you see Baker go from holding his knee, just shot right back up and got right in GJ's face. It was like, ooh, are you hurt? And he's like, no, I'm fine.
He's a dog.
Got right back in it. So no, again, that's another one of those situations of if you pick the other team, you're a glutton for you have a glutton for punishment. That's all that is.
Yeah, I don't get the 3%. I mean, I don't know what they're seeing here, but there's a reason why it's 3%. Maybe it's, I'm in a league with my mom and my dad. Maybe it's someone like my mom thinking, well, I like the Jets a little bit. I'll take the Jets. No shade to my mom. She actually picked really well last week, by the way. I'm leading the family league as I should because we do the show every week. We research. We should be winning our family leagues, but my mom's first time doing it. She's hanging around. She's actually doing pretty decent.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, good for my mom. But this is not going to be good for the Raiders. I mean, Geno Smith did not look good against the Chargers, and they have Brock Bowers and Ashton Johnson on the roster, and you're not giving them the ball. Give these guys the football. They're your best players. Tom Brady's in the booth. He's helping coach. Maybe he's an awful head coach. I mean, maybe he should never get coaching consideration because clearly he isn't helping them out. The intel he's getting isn't doing anything. But here's the thing. Jaden Daniels may not play. He's questionable in this one. Marcus Mariota's the backup. This is a weird one. We have some quarterback injuries this week. Does it change for you if Jaden Daniels doesn't play?
Not at all. No.
Same.
Marcus Mariota, honestly, I see Marcus Mariota as better than Geno Smith. I really do. Backup or not, I think Marcus Mariota is a better quarterback than Geno Smith. Mariota, however, what? Titans?
Yeah, drafted by the Titans.
Falcons? What have we given Mariota to actually do to succeed?
Nothing.
Nothing. Exactly.
Absolutely nothing.
Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. Now, he's a backup. He's not, he's not their starter. I think he could get the job done against Geno Smith for 1 week, and then they go in week, with a little bit more gusto, and Jaden Daniels. So no, I have Mariota with the Commanders. I cannot in good conscience take the Raiders.
And I like what you said there, because, he said, like you said, he's never had any help. Well, last year, he did get 2 starts. He played 2 games for the Commanders last year, and they were 2-0. He threw 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, took care of the football, didn't have to do anything special, and they won the game. And this is one of those games where the Raiders aren't a good football team. So Commanders just got to go out there, take care of business. I know that they're feeling awful after last week getting bitched by the Packers, but they've had since last Thursday to get rested and ready to go. And if Jaden Daniels doesn't play and Mariota's in, I'm still taking the Commanders in this one. But the Falcons, they're taking on the Panthers. Last week, the end of the Panthers-Cardinals game made me want to die as a referee. It was just flag, 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 flag. Let them play the game. Just let it. It's the end of the football game. The Cardinals threw that one in the dumpster and said, Panthers take it, and the Panthers couldn't do it. Bryce Young looks lost half the time. The only thing redeemable about their roster is Chuba Hubbard, and that's just fantasy. And, Tetroa McMillan, he's been great. I mean, if he had a real quarterback, maybe he'd be even better. But the Falcons just took care of business against the Vikings. Week 1, they were really competitive, and they were a decent kicker away from beating the Bucs. Give me the Falcons.
No, it's hard to side with Carolina when Bryce Young kind of started feeling himself at the end of last year, and now he's just straight up reverted back to the Bryce Young that we all know and we all don't want to fucking watch. We don't. Carolina is so bad. No, it's not even hard, Atlanta.
Yeah.
Michael Penix Jr., Atlanta, let's get it done.
Yeah, they have no run defense, and the other squad, the Falcons, they have Penix, who can run a little bit, and you also have Bijan, and you have Algier. They have good threats. They can run up the middle of this game. They're going to win as long as they keep it simple. It's not going to take a lot. This one is the one where a lot of people are split. 38-62, the Texans and the Jaguars. There are some question marks here on both sides. C.J. Stroud has not looked amazing. He has not.
No.
But the O-line has failed him completely. And Trevor Lawrence on the other side.
Last week.
It's looking pretty good, comparing him to Derek Carr. Good. And speaking of that, I was watching Urinating Trees video on, he does his weekly recap of the NFL. At the end of his segment, he also made that statement. He said C.J. Stroud's looking like Derek Carr. And he just threw it in there as a little thing at the end. It didn't sound like it's something he came up on his own. So I'm wondering if he somehow watched that YouTube short. But he's probably not. I mean, there's a very, very small chance he did. But I love you, Tree. If you're watching this, shout out you. Just keep doing what you do. Anyways, this game. You got T-Law who has questions about how consistent he can be, how good he can be. The Jaguars are a team that's hard to pick. But the last 2 times these teams have met, the Texans have got it done. So I'm just going to go off of that and take the Texans here. But I think this is going to be a shitty football game. It's going to be low scoring. It's going to be bad. And Brian Thomas needs to figure it out for the Jags. Stop dropping passes, man. Catch the ball first and then turn.
Trevor Etienne, run it for 500 yards all game. Give me them points, baby!
Yeah, dude, Travis Etienne is he's redeeming himself. He looks fine. But
he looks great.
I just don't know. I mean, this is a fun football game, I guess, because everyone's so split on it, and there's a lot of things to look for. Like, how's T-Law going to look against this Texans defense? I mean, their secondary is great. Their pass rush is good. Is C.J. Stroud going to turn it around this week? I don't think either one's going to look good. They're both going to look like crap.
Yeah, I'm taking Houston, but it's the lesser of 2 evils. And
literally, lesser of 2 evils.
I think that's about the best we could go with that analysis. It is the lesser. However, chat disagrees with us. They're going Jacksonville.
It's not bad. I mean, it's really not, but Jacksonville this year has played against the Panthers and the Bengals. Neither one of those teams is renowned for their defense, and in neither of those games did the Jaguars impress me. So going up against a team who is literally only known for their defense right now, I don't have faith. I just don't. Next game, Broncos-Chargers.
They have said undecided.
They're undecided?
That they are undecided. So I guess they just picked Jacksonville for the sake of it, but I think they're in the same boat as us of it could go either way, really.
It really could. This one won't. I don't think it will.
Chargers, belt to ass. Denver. I'm sorry. Denver, you just came off a really bad loss to the Colts. That's got to be demoralizing. Chargers, you're riding high off of the wave of just beat the Chiefs to start the season, and then I think it was the Raiders next, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's two divisional matchups back-to-back that they're
You are
winning.
2-0 in the division, and you are playing your third divisional matchup. I think Chargers go 3-0, and they're going to be sitting pretty at the top of the AFC West for a while. Because that would be 3 back-to-back-to-back divisional wins. Oh, the
That's tough
Chargers
to do.
have never looked that good.
Well, I mean,
They've never looked
The
that
Colts-
good without Phillip Rivers.
the Colts just put up 29 points on this vaunted Broncos defense. If the Colts can do it, the Chargers can do it.
Can do it.
And
yeah.
the Chargers O-line, which really impressive for me, is you see these young stars. You've had a lot of guys over the years that, like, you think about Tua, you think about Burrow, you think about Herbert. Man, if we could just get these guys an O-line and give them a chance to succeed, what could they do? Well, this year, he has an O-line, and you're seeing what he can do. They've allowed the third least amount of pressure in the league this year. And that's without one of their stars that's with them being out. I mean, you have Joe Alt, who's great, but you're missing one of your top guys on the line, and you're still doing this type of thing. So, yeah, give me the Chargers in this one by $1 billion. And honestly, even if it is close, I can't trust Bo Nix. He's thrown some pretty nasty picks this year. Week 1, he didn't look good. Last week, driving on the field late in the game, throwing a pick. Just stop. Keep it simple, man. You want to be a star. I don't think you ever will be, but you'll be a decent quarterback if you just stop doing that crap.
You'll be the Broncos franchise quarterback until there's another one of those generational talents that come in probably about 5-10 years. And then you'll probably take the backup to the Broncos. But yeah, no, give me the Chargers. Chargers all day long.
It is confirmed the Mariners have beaten the Royals. We are back and tied for first place. And we got the Astros coming up. So going to be a big series there. But the next game, you got the Seahawks and the Saints. And dude, last week, the Saints are playing against a team that has Mac Jones as their quarterback. All their offensive weapons are out. They have like nothing in the form of morale. Their morale has to be at an all-time low, and the Saints still couldn't get it done. So You're not going to beat the Seahawks. I mean, the Seahawks aren't great, but they're not a pushover. I mean, they beat the Steelers last week. If you couldn't beat Mac Jones and the 49ers, you're not beating the Seahawks.
If you couldn't beat the Niners on one of their lowest weeks that they're probably going to have all season long, what makes you have any hope that you're going to beat Sam Darnold, Cooper Kupp, and those guys? I mean, it's just no faith in New Orleans, none. What is it? The no confidence.
Yeah,
no confidence.
The Aints are back.
New Orleans, you're done. The Aints are back, baby.
It sucks. I mean, I grew up. I wasn't a full-time football fan. The Rams were here, and I saw Drew Brees play, and I'm like, yay, Drew Brees, go Saints! And they just never put a defense around him. They never put a complete team. Got one ring, and it was ruined by Bountygate. So poor Saints. I feel bad for the fans, but I don't feel bad for Cowboys fans. I still hate you guys, but the Bears just, ew. The Bears are just
awful.
They're not good. The Bears have to play, in my opinion. The Bears are going to have to play a full 60 minutes. And you've seen it the last 2 games for the Bears. Ben Johnson cooks up a game plan. He holds Caleb Williams' hand and says, this is what we're going to do. This is the plan. Don't think, just do. And then eventually they run out of scripted plays to run, and they look like garbage. I mean, Roma Dunze looks good. That's great. Good job, Bears. You have a good wide receiver. But you have a terrible record, and the Cowboys are going to kill you. Give me the Cowboys.
I don't think Ben Johnson wants Caleb Williams as his quarterback.
No.
Because he has basically been trash talking his own team. They asked about practice habits, and Ben Johnson literally went, "Yeah, we don't have the practice habits of a championship caliber team." Brother, you're the head coach! You can change that! What? How are you going to go to the press, say that you don't have the practice of a championship caliber team? You're the one that dictates the practice. What the fuck are we doing here if you're not going to do shit, dude?
I agree with you.
I'm not even a Chicago fan, and what the hell?
I agree with you, but you also have a roster full of people that have, like, never won anything. I mean, DJ Moore just bounced around, has nothing to play for. The rest of the team around him is, like, full of a bunch of lovable losers. And then you got Caleb Williams, who I don't think has any leadership capabilities whatsoever. But here's the redeeming thing. If I'm Caleb Williams in this game, oh, man, I'm bad at football, but there is a redeeming thing in this game. Kaiir Elam is in that secondary for the Cowboys, and he was getting cooked last week against the Giants. He looked like dog shit. And I say this as a Bills fan, dude should just not be in the league in general. I am shocked that we got a 6th-round pick for that individual. So if I'm Caleb and I see a one-on-one with Kaiir Elam, I'm just chucking the football up because it's either going to be caught or pass interference, and that's yardage for your team.
And you know what? It's bold of you to assume that Caleb Williams is able to throw that far without under or overthrowing his person with that inaccuracy.
Underthrow it. If you underthrow it, Kaiir Elam's going to have to come back through the receiver. It's going to be pass interference, and they're going to move up the field, and it'll make him look decent. Just don't overthrow it, because if you do overthrow it, then there's nothing we can do. All right, next game. You got the Cardinals and the Niners. This one does change for me because Brock Purdy, questionable. And even if he does play, he's going to be playing slightly injured. So I'm saying if Mac Jones starts this game for the 49ers, I will take the Cardinals. Just because the 49ers are banged up, they just don't look the greatest right now. You struggled with the Saints. The Cardinals are a team that's played really good to start games and just struggle in the second half. But if they can get a lead and make Mac Jones play from behind, I like the Cardinals' chances in this one. And look, these are both teams that have played against the Saints. They've both done it. So you have a reference there. The Cardinals played better against the Saints than the 49ers did against the Saints, which doesn't say a whole lot, but I think it is something to base it off of and say, hey, the Cardinals should just be a little bit better in this one. Bless you.
So I'll say this. Yeah, excuse me. I apologize. Whew. Give me the Niners. Give me the Niners.
No matter what?
Yeah, no, Niners. No, 110%. Look, I have faith in Mac Jones. Mac Jones is a good quarterback. He's a good backup, but he is a good quarterback. And you still have Ricky Pearsall. You still have Christian McCaffrey that can run the ball very heavily. I don't see any reason for the Niners to not take this game. It's the Cardinals. Like, the Cardinals aren't always god-awful, but, like, they're mid.
Yeah.
And you have pieces
bad.
in your... Like, you have pieces in your offense to tear through the Cardinals. So, no, Niners all the way, man.
I don't know. It's not, like, awful. This is a 50-50 game. I definitely considered it. But, I mean, the defense, like, you got to look at that, too. The 49ers allowed the Saints to score over 20 points. That's pretty damning. I mean, Kyler's wildly inaccurate and is making some baffling decisions. Because I was talking with my mom. I got to go home this week. She's like, I like Kyler. He's a pretty good quarterback. And I'm like, that's the fun part. Every drive, you get a different version of him. You never know what you're going to get. He's going to scamper for 30 yards, and the next play, he's going to roll to his left, be going to the ground and throw a pick, which he did against the Panthers. But if he's just okay, the Cardinals should win this game, man. I don't know, but I'm glad that we have something different, because this week has been a lot of the same. This one, the Chiefs are winning this, right? Like, you don't have the Giants. Please don't tell me you have the Giants. Uh-oh. Oh, no, he's quiet. Oh, boy. Okay, well, explain yourself.
Yeah.
Come on,
no,
talk to
dead
me.
serious.
Talk to me.
I'm so dead honest about New York winning this one. So here's the thing. KC, this is the first time that they are 0-2 in years. Years, right? The Giants, while they are still 0-2, they're progressing. They're getting better. They're doing good. it's not like they're having terrible performances and not getting that, like, and not getting it. Like, they are having good performances. It's just that they get outperformed by the other team. And I'm sorry, the Cowboys, Brendan Aubrey, if you didn't have him, you would not have won the game against the New York Giants. The Giants would be 1-1 if Dallas didn't have the one competent player of the kicker. That is it. Which, I love Brandon Aubrey. He's from the UFL. He's actually from the original, I think, USFL or XFL.
That sounds right.
Yeah. And then that's how he got his start, is he went from the spring league into the NFL, and he has just never looked back. And now he is getting his flowers with Dallas. Phenomenal. However, if it wasn't for him, Dallas would not have had a shot in hell of winning that game against the Giants, and I wholeheartedly... KC, you're 0-2. Travis Kelce's on the sideline complaining, moaning, crying about an interception or passes he's not getting when he can't even hold on to a ball.
Well,
you don't even have your wide receiver situation figured out.
He was holding on to his own balls. He was, after one of the catches this week, and for a rare time, I'm going to stand up on this show. I couldn't believe when I saw it. He caught a pass, and he was holding his fucking nuts out here afterwards, and a few plays later, the same dude drops a pass that hits him in the hands for an interception. I'm with you on that. Kelce is a disaster right now, but I will say this. The Cowboys don't have any depth, and they were missing one of their top men in the secondary in Deron Bland last week, and you had to have Kaiir Elam help out guarding Malik Neighbors and Wan'Dale Robinson on deep routes. That was a recipe for disaster. Bland might play this game for the Cowboys this week. They might be healthy. So we're talking about the other game here a little bit with the Cowboys. They should be fine against the Bears if he comes back. But the Giants got bailed out. They got to play against a hurt secondary. Russell Wilson, one of the best games of his career. He's not doing that against the Chiefs. Spagnuolo is going to do something here. They're going to figure out how to stop him. Their run game hasn't been anything this year. Nothing about the Giants is spectacular. Let's be real. Outside of Malik Neighbors, their run game isn't anything. Their intermediate passing game isn't great. Russell Wilson's okay. I mean, he was great last week. Week 1, he was awful. Thinking about benching him. Talking about putting in Dart. I can't trust the Giants here. I just can't do it. You beat up a battered Cowboys team, and you still lost the game. The Chiefs are a different animal. They have competent coaching. They have Patrick Mahomes. They don't really have anyone to throw to, but they'll find a way to win the football game. They did last year.
I know, but I think the Giants pull off the upset. I think the Giants pull off the upset, and they send the Chiefs to 0-3 territory, and the Chiefs are going to have to do some hardcore reflecting. They do not look like the Chiefs of old. They look like that Super Bowl hurt them bad. Like, they've never been this bad before, and my God, I think the Giants are going to take advantage of it. Now, if I'm wrong, and I'll take it, because the Chiefs need to get back into form. But as of right now, Giants. I'm going to take the Giants on this one.
I mean, even in the years where the Patriots weren't great, they had their runs, they were on those down years, I just wouldn't expect a Brady-led team to go 0-3 or to lose 3 straight games. Same thing with Mahomes here. I mean, he's found ways to win games he has no business being in, and the NFL is not going to let them go 0-3. The Zebras this week are going to be the MVP. The referees are going to be calling some heinous shit, and they were last week, too, to keep the Chiefs in the game, and I'll talk about that one later. But we'll move on to our last one. I got the Ravens over the Detroit Lions because they're at home. If it was the other way around, maybe I go with the Lions if it was in their place.
So I didn't know it was at home for the Ravens.
Okay.
However, that's not swaying me. That's not going to sway me one bit. I'm going to stick to my pick, and my pick is the Detroit Lions.
Okay. I mean, I believe you. It's going to be a great football game.
It's going to be great. I think Detroit is going to be able to get it done a little bit more. Not saying Baltimore is not going to get like a good performance. This is going to be a slugfest. You want to talk about two very hard fighting teams, two very just malicious teams with how they play. God, dude, it would not surprise me if blood is starting to come off of some of the foreheads of some of these players. I'm so serious. Like, I think this is going to, gladiator sports. This might be the gladiator game that we see high intensity class. I don't see this being a low scoring game. I see this being very much a high scoring game.
I mean,
But
yeah.
I'm going to take Detroit.
Smash the over. I mean, whatever the line is, take the over on it. I know that
Oh, yeah.
I have mine set, I think, at 50 points for this game. It probably could be more than that. But the last time the Lions played against a Super Bowl contender was Week 1, and Week 1's weird. You've seen Jared Goff over his career has struggled to adjust. So you get that.
Yeah.
A new play caller, the whole 9 yards. But still, the Packers could do whatever the hell they wanted because they're good in every aspect. And the Ravens are just like that. You saw last week, Lamar can throw the shit out of the football if he chooses to. And you saw against the Bills, they can run the ball if they want to the whole game. That's so tough for the Lions to have to deal with. It's going to be close. I'm not saying the Ravens are going to kick the shit out of the Lions, and the Lions are definitely a better team now than they were Week 1. Week 1, they were just lost. The Ravens in this game, after seeing what they did to my team personally, my Buffalo Bills, I'm scared of them for the rest of the year. They're on a warpath. You lost Week 1.
Yeah.
That hurt. They're going to take it out on the Lions here in front of their home fans.
I believe that. I just don't know if that retribution is going to be it. I think that they bullied the Browns a little bit,
Well, yeah,
but I don't
they're
think
the
that
Browns.
little retribution is going to be enough for the 30 to 40 years of Lion football being nothing but garbage sort of retribution, especially last year after being like losing the games that they did, and especially losing the season the way that they did. Yeah, we both have very good arguments for either side. I think this one is definitely going to be this is a Monday Night Football game worth watching. Unlike this last week.
Yeah.
I think this is an actual Monday Night Football game that we're Monday Night Football.
Dude,
Dude.
I know that
love that
Joe
dude.
Buck and Troy Aikman getting ready for this game. They're creaming in their pants. They're like, dude, this is the easiest job of an announcer ever. Normally you gotta look for storylines and everything. Okay, we got two of the top teams in the league loaded with talent. Just take your pick on who you want to talk about in the pregame. Take your pick on every play. If there's a down player or something, there's a million storylines to talk about. So this one's going to be fun for them, going to be fun for us. We got different teams, so keep an eye out for that. But that is all for the special segment, and we're going to move into What's More Likely. Jet, what is your What's More Likely for this week?
So my What's More Likely actually has to do with the world of baseball. So the Mariners are on a hot streak for the most part. They broke their curse. They're going... More than likely, they're going into the postseason. They're doing real well.
I would hope. I would really, really hope.
Exactly. So my thing is, with the Mariners' hot streak, are we seeing that late season revival that could end in possibly like a division banner? Or a conference banner? Or even possibly, in our most delusional dream, a World Series banner? Or are we just going to see the usual suspects in the World Series when it comes around, such as the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Astros? You know, those typical suspects that we always see year after year after year, which kind of makes baseball boring to watch half the time.
That's crazy.
So, I mean, it's crazy. That's not even my hot take. But let's be honest, when it's the same World Series year after year after year, I don't want to watch it. I'm not a Yankees fan. I'm not a Dodgers fan. I hate both those cities. I don't want to watch them play each other.
True that.
So, it's like, would I rather have my house burn down or destroy my entire electronic setup? Which would you prefer? Both suck. I don't want either.
Right.
Both are going to cost me buku amounts of money. So, yeah, no. But what do you think? With the Mariners streak, do we see a good late season revival? Or do you think we're just going to get the usual suspects going into the World Series?
I mean, it's tough to say. The AL... So, for one, you have the Mariners, who have historically not fared well in the playoffs. I mean, fuck. We won 116 games one season. We have the record all time for most games in a season. We didn't win the World Series that year. We didn't make the World Series. We haven't done it yet in our history. So let's take the baby steps first and try to make a World Series. But, like, you look at the AL right now, some of the wild card teams that are in there. You got the New York Yankees, the Astros, the Red Sox. All of those teams would give us a hell of a series. And then you look at the tops of the divisions currently, and you got the Tigers, the Blue Jays, and ourselves, which is awesome. We're on top of the division. It's just tough. All those teams are really, really, really good. But I'll say none of the above on your what's more likely. The Mariners are not winning the World Series this year. I wish they would.
That's fair.
But Eugenio Suarez has not looked good since we traded for him. Yes, he hit a home run in the loss yesterday. It seems like he only shows up when we lose games. Just keep sucking and let the rest of the roster carry your ass, Eugenio. I mean, whatever, man. But I think it's going to be a team you wouldn't expect. I'm really hoping that the Detroit Tigers or the Blue Jays will be the ones representing. Cardinals should not make the playoffs. Fuck that. No. But the Tigers and the Blue Jays, they're good. They're really good teams. They're both wagons. I think they'll be the ones to represent the AL. One of those teams. Because the Yankees aren't going to do it. I really hope the Yankees don't do it. I don't want to watch it. But in the NL, the Dodgers and the Phillies are still the favorites.
Phillies.
One of them.
That's the only Philadelphia team I'll root for. Phillies, please get it done. Beat the Dodgers. Get it over with. I don't care. I don't care. Do what the Astros did. Beat a trash can. Get their signal calls. I don't give a damn. The Astros got away with it. They got to keep their World Series. For the love of God, do the same thing. Put the LA Dodgers down. Put the New York Yankees down. Go get the World Series. Go home. Celebrate.
I don't think we have it. I mean, the Mariners are really good at home. And on the road, they have struggled mightily this year. And in the playoffs, that gets amplified by a million. Those atmospheres are crazy. But yeah, with the NL too, I mean, there are teams that are in there like the Cubs and the Brewers. The Mets are trying to hang on for dear life. The Padres. There's a lot of parity going on. A lot of teams that could make a run. So if there was ever a year for a team that isn't the Dodgers or the Astros to make it, it's this year. I just don't know if it's going to be my team. The Mariners just can't win on the road. If they could win on the road, that'd be swayed. We have good pitching. Pitching does well in October. But if you can't pitch in the other team's ballpark, what's the point of having good pitching? The numbers look great, but they're empty numbers on the road. All right. My what's more likely question for you. I'll give you 3 options here. They're all in the NFL. Daniel Jones. So we're going to start off with Indiana Jones. What's more likely? Daniel Jones becomes a viable starter in this league for the foreseeable future. Mike McDaniels gets fired within the next 3 weeks, or the league actually does something against Tom Brady.
Mike McDaniel's getting fired. 110%, because I think he's already on the hot seat. Within the next 3 weeks, 100%. If he loses this week, I think he could be gone by next week. And if he loses next week and the Dolphins start 0-4, he's 100% gone. There's no shot. Because who do they play week 4?
Week 4, after this, they got the Jets, the Panthers, and then the Chargers after that. But, okay, in that stretch, you got the Jets, the Panthers, and the Browns, and the Chargers. So, I'm saying next 3 weeks, he's going to be on the hot seat after this game, right? But their GM is also, tied at the hip with McDaniels. Will Greer's an awful GM. He knows if McDaniels goes, he's probably going next. I don't know if he's going to pull the trigger on it yet. But I do like it. I was thinking maybe after this game he could get fired, and then I remembered, we're talking about the Dolphins here. They ain't going to do it. They don't have the stones.
Maybe not this week, but if next week he loses that game, he's done. He's over.
If you lose to the Jets at home, you should probably lose your job.
Yeah. Especially, again, no disrespect to Tyrod Taylor.
Love that man.
The Jets beat you in your own home with a backup quarterback, and you expect to have a job? Brother, come Monday, your code is not going to work on the door. They're going to have a box in the dumpster and say, go pick your stuff up. And no, 110% out of the 3. Look, no disrespect to Daniel Jones. He's doing phenomenal right now. I need to see more than 2 weeks of good play. That's all it is. I think this week it's going to be a gimme, but I think as far as for the foreseeable future, we need to see more deeper into the season. Because like you said, it's reminiscent of the Saints of last year. I don't want to say that, yeah, he's good to be a starter. Because I trash talked Jones when he was on the Giants hard. Which deservedly so, because he was awful. He was awful on the Giants. Terrible. The Giants are still paying him. I think they're on the last year of the contract that they were going to pay him. But yeah, they're still paying him. So no, I think out of all that, Mike McCarthy leaving in the next 3 weeks, getting fired in the next 3 weeks is the most likely outcome out of, like I said, the NFL is not going to touch their golden boy either.
I feel like they have to touch Tom Brady. That's where I was going to go with this. And also, shout out to the chat. One of the chatters said, this Ravens-Lions shootout will rival that of the OK Corral. That is a great comment right there. But I feel like with Tom Brady, the league's going to have to be like, they're questioning our integrity of our sport, which is something that they don't usually like too much. You even saw this week, and I'll get to it with my hot take, people were complaining online about the Tush push a lot, about the false starts lining up in the neutral zone. And guess what happened on Monday? The Chargers tried to run it, and the referees went in right away and said, hang on, you guys got to line up properly, and pushed all the linemen back. I think they could, if they're going to do that off of Twitter outrage, they'll probably do something about Brady and just won't make it public because they don't want to shit on him.
Probably not. They'll probably do some sort of like, hey, here's a fine, pay this under the table and you're good to go.
I don't even think they'll fine him. They'll just be like, hey, brother, you can't do this. Like, the pre-production meetings, I don't even know how you do it. The pre-production meetings are very important for every sportscaster. I mean, I know for us, for main media where I work, like, dude, our announcers go down and talk to the coaches and get rosters and formations before the game. It's very basic information, but it supplements the graphics crew, and then it tells us who's playing and gives us storylines to work with. So I don't know what they're going to do, but they got to do something. But that's all for what's more likely. We're going to move into the trenches, where we give you guys our hot takes of the week. Jet, I'll let you start us off.
So last week we talked a little bit of college football, and last week we talked about this lady who didn't quite understand the AP poll as a whole and how messed up her voting and ranked the wrong college. Now throughout the week I've been talking with a few buddies of mine about the AP poll, and I looked into it. Notre Dame is sitting at 24.
Yeah, they are.
With 0-2.
Yeah, they are.
They are a top 25 team with a losing record. So my hot take, this is for the college football fans out there. Destroy the AP poll. Get rid of it. It's dumb. It's pointless. There's no reason to it. There's absolutely no rhyme or reason behind that poll. It doesn't actually dictate what teams are good or where they need to be. It is an old boys club. That is all the AP poll is. It is an old boys club. It is absolutely awful because, mind you, Texas at number 8 sits above, I think the last time I counted, it was 13 or 14 undefeated teams. Texas has a loss on their roster. Why are they ranked higher than undefeated teams?
They shouldn't be.
Makes no sense. Same with Alabama and Tennessee and Michigan. All have a loss on their record. All ranked higher than undefeated teams. And then again, my big stickler, Notre Dame, 24. You're 0-2. Your claim to fame is that you made it. You were the runner-up to the national championship last year. Good job. You're doing nothing with it this year. You've basically eliminated yourself from playoff already. Get rid of the AP poll. It's stupid. It's dumb. It doesn't actually tell you what teams are good. And people, like, they put so much stock into this. Why? I don't understand it. There's no reason. It is absolutely asinine to have such a mind game power over college football like the AP poll for rankings. Texas is not the number 8 team in the country. They're not. Alabama is not in the top 25. Tennessee is not in the top 25. Michigan is not in the top 25. I don't know if Ohio State even deserves to be number 1. They're 3-0. They're undefeated. If it were me and if I were to rank these, Iowa State Cyclones are 4-0 right now on the season. technically, they're the only team that's 4-0 in all of college football right now. Number one needs to go to Iowa State Cyclones.
I won't argue that
But
the
they're
AP poll sucks right now because, I mean, there really is no arguing it. Like, Ohio State at 1, they haven't really impressed me. Yeah, they beat Texas, great, but, like, against other shitter schools, they haven't really done. I mean, they didn't lose, so you can't knock them too much, but teams like Miami, teams like Iowa State, I mean, these schools look legitimately terrifying to play against this year. And you got teams like Texas in the top 10. Dude, you don't look good. You just don't. Texas should be ranked because of their talent on their roster, but they should be ranked at the bottom, like the 20s. You have schools like you mentioned, Michigan, have a loss on their team, like on their schedule this year. They're at 21. Dude, your other wins don't like reverse that. Like, yeah, you're talented. Yeah, you have a great young quarterback, but you shouldn't be on this list. And Notre Dame being 0-2, this is the part that this is almost a hot take in itself. Look at the losses they had. Miami is a playoff team this year. Texas A&M, excuse me. They're probably a playoff team this year. They played both of those schools to one score. Given there's a lot of schools with maybe better resumes, I don't hate them being ranked, but with the way everything else is stacked up, I have to give it to you. The AP poll is really letting a lot of people down these days.
Okay, but that was week 4, mind you, that Notre Dame was ranked 24th, right? Last week, 0-1.
Yeah, they were like 8th, right?
They were 8th.
Yeah, that was bad. And they moved up on their bye week. I'm telling you, they don't know how to rank Notre Dame because they don't play in a conference, and they have that name brand attached to them that it's Notre Dame. They're a contender for the Natty. You're 0-2. You're not a bad football team. You actually have a really good head coach. I like your roster a lot, but you haven't won yet.
You're 0-1 in a bye week, and somehow you go up from 9th to 8th. You're still top 10 with a loss on your record when week 3, here are some of the undefeated teams that are directly below them. Illinois, Florida State, South Carolina, Oklahoma, Iowa State, who is 3-0. So they won a game. Tennessee, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, South Florida, Utah, Texas Tech, Indiana, Auburn, Mizzou. All below Notre Dame.
Right. Like, I would much rather see BYU and South Florida up there. I understand that South Florida lost to Miami this week and it wasn't great, but you have 2 ranked wins on your resume and you lost to another ranked team. How are you not in the mix here? How are you not above a school like USC or Notre Dame? Look, I like Mizzou. I'm a Mizzou fan. How are you not above Mizzou? And then Georgia Tech, like, people were like on ESPN's rankings. This is not AP, but on ESPN's they were leaving Georgia Tech out and saying like, well, you know, they just didn't do enough. Dude, you're 3-0 and you just knocked off another ranked school. Give them some credit, and at least the AP poll did. But I'm with you on this. The AP poll currently is a little bit flawed.
No, and I think the way that I put it is completely pointless and needs to get terminated outright. That is exactly how I worded it in my notes, and that is exactly how I feel, is that this AP poll is nothing but just an ego boost to those schools that are the good old boys club, right? Alabama is 2-1, but they got embarrassed in their one loss. Why they're there is purely because of the after effects of the Saban era, and they're still feeling it.
But what's your solution? Like, you have to have a ranking system. You have to have a system in place that works. What do you do?
Of their conferences. Simple as that. Kind of like how baseball does it with their
then how do you rank
like the top 3 teams and stuff?
How do you rank the top team in the SEC versus the top team in the Big Ten when the top team, let's just say hypothetically, has played against the top teams already and has beaten them? Where a few years back you had Iowa, who was one of the top teams in the Big Ten and hadn't played anybody worth a shit. There is a human element to this. I just think that maybe we rework it so that it isn't just random ass writers. That we have some people. I don't know what you do, because who do you go to? Who ranks it? Because the coaches themselves are going to be biased too. The coaches are going to vote for themselves in their conferences so that it gives them, oh, we're playing against this school next week. I want them to be higher in the rankings, so if we beat them, we move up. That's the type of problem you'd have. So I don't know what you do, but I agree. It's flawed, but it's human nature. Things aren't always going to be right. And the SEC does get some unfair bias, and some of these schools should not be ranked on there. Here's my hot take, though. Hot take of the
Go
week.
for it.
Look, I am an official. I have refereed football games before. Given they're flag football games, but I understand the rules enough. I understand the challenges of being a referee in this sport. Football's hard, man. We just talked about the human element of ranking teams. The human element of refereeing grown men at running at full speed and hitting each other, and you have to say, was that a penalty? Wasn't a penalty? That is really difficult. But this week, there were some calls that I just cannot allow to go without me complaining. You had the Eagles trying to deflect a pass, hand in the air, coming down, and it tapped Mahomes in the helmet. That's a flag. That's 15 in the first. And a few plays later, they score a touchdown. Kept them in the game. And then the Broncos game. I had a perfect week going. All I needed to do was have a Broncos victory. And we're talking about maybe having my second, well, actually, no, that'd be my first ever perfect week. I was one game off, I think, the first year I ever did it. You have a guy fall over on the Broncos on top of the long snapper, and he tries to get back up. He puts a hand on him. You can't call leverage there. That is ticky-tack, game on the line. You're a referee. It did not impact the play. You can wait a few seconds and wait for the kick to go off and then make your decision. That kick looks like it's going to make it or miss it, or that the guy right there actually made the play. You can throw a flag a few seconds late. But my most egregious thing of the frickin' week, and I am going to show you a video on it too, is the damn tush push. They cannot figure out for the life of them how to call this play. Watch what the Eagles do here. But before we even go into it, half the guys are lined up in the goddamn neutral zone, which is not allowed. As a referee, if you're standing on the side, you can see that. That's obvious. They've been doing it for years, and they're going to run it, and you're going to see the two guys around the center false start. They do this every single time. I like the tush push. It needs to stay in football. It is a legal play. It's actually beautiful. I think this is a beautiful play. It's not creative. You know the result of it almost every time. Fans might get bored of it. But I like the tush push, man. It's a fun play. You have to officiate it, though. You know on this play, if they line up like this, it's the Eagles. Get your ass in position to be lined up on the football as a referee, and he's in the neutral zone. Penalty. It's a false start. Penalty. At least that would make it interesting. And at least it'd be officiated properly. I'm not a Chiefs fan. I'm happy the Chiefs lost. They can lose every game for the rest of their existence. I don't think I'd feel bad for them. But, dude, you got to get these calls right. The tush push shouldn't be banned, but if this keeps happening, it's going to end up getting banned because the referees don't know what to do with it. Ugh.
And I agree. No, I agree. The officiating was lacking there. And it was lacking all week. Don't get me wrong. When I saw the Colts-Broncos game, right? I sat there, I watched. I'm like, okay, the Colts made it. They're in field goal range. They just got to kick this field goal. 60 yards, it's hard, but it's doable. It's fine. I watched and I saw him shank right, and I was like, oh, that sucks for the Colts. Good on the Broncos, but that sucks for the Colts. 2-3 seconds go by, that ball isn't even past the uprights yet, flag flies out. I'm like, oh no. Right. As soon as I saw that flag get thrown, I knew something told me. I was like, that's the Broncos. That's on the Broncos. The Colts are going to get the ball back. Leveraging 15 yards. I'm like, that's game. Colts got it. As soon as he said 15 yards and a first down, I was like,
automatic.
That's game.
You can't.
That's game.
You cannot be a referee coming into a football game and say, I want this game to be about me. It's about the people on the field. You're getting paid to do a really tough job, but you can't do that. Not in that moment. The dude fell down. The point of leverage is so that you're not catapulting yourself over the line, so that you're not jumping over guys and using your hands to get over them or pushing them into the ground.
Yeah.
That's the point of leverage. It's just a safety net that's there in the rule book. It's not meant to be called on a game-winning field goal, and it's not like the guy blocked it or got a hand on it. He was just falling down and was like, oh shit, I don't want to fall on my face on the game-winning fucking kick. I'm going to try to get back up. Like, bro, you can't call that. But that's not even my hot take, though. My hot take was on the frickin' Tush
The
push.
Eagles tush push.
Like, you have to call it. It's so obvious. There's so many people right there. The back judge can barely see it. Have the line judge come down and sit on the line of scrimmage.
I think the best one I saw is they did an overhead view of it. And you saw, like, almost the entire Eagles O-line and some of the Chiefs are lined up so close to each other, like not even trying to avoid the neutral zone. And they are just right there. And as soon as the ball is snapped, like, you saw a couple of them jump before the ball moved. They jumped, ball moved, no neutral zone infraction, no offsides, no nothing. They just let the play go. And I'm like, look, you can't fight the tush push. The tush push is here to stay. All right? Like, some of us may think it's a BS play. Some of us like it. It is what it is. And I'm under the firm belief of, yeah, it's a little scummy, but you can't take the play away just because the Eagles are the only ones that do it well enough. And, like, the Eagles are the only ones that can do it well enough.
Right. I mean, like, we tried it last year in the playoffs. The Bills, we needed that first down. The big fourth down and 1 that we also got, and the league screwed us. We tried it, man. We like to try our little tush pushes over here. We have a pretty good O-line. We just can't do it on their level. I'm not mad about that. As a referee and understanding how refereeing works, it is not hard to put yourself in a position there, because the situation, you're on the goal line. The Eagles aren't faking this. And even if they do, the end zone's right there. It's not like they're at the 50 where you're like, oh man, if they fake it, I'm going to be way out of position as a referee. You're right there, dude. You're able to recorrect and get in the right spot after that. Just sit on the line and make the call. But that is all for Into the Trenches. We're going to move into Battle of the Bets. And if you've never watched Zuggy's Zone before, this is how Battle of the Bets works. Each week, we put together a 3-leg parlay, and we get $100 at the beginning of the month to try to win money. Or in the case of Jet, just make picks that don't work. Unfortunately, that's been what's happening. But this week, I saw your pick.
People.
You're not bad. Betting's hard. Vegas is good at what they do. So anyways, the way this works, whoever wins the most money at the end of the month is our victor. And then if there's a tie, God forbid, it's the amount of legs on your parlays that you've won that'll be the tiebreaker. We're both coming into this one with $50 remaining, and you have some catch-up to do. You're down $102. You're also down $350 historically, but we won't mention that. I'm sorry, I don't want to dunk on you for this. I'm just happy that I'm doing well in something related to betting, because I've never felt like betting was something for me, and I'm actually doing okay. But we're going to start off with you here.
All
Battle of
right.
the Bets. What do you got for us this week?
So for me, we're starting it off with a James Cook. Higher on 68.5 rushing yards. James Cook has been an absolute monster for the Bills so far this season. He's been great rushing. He's been great receiving. He has just been an absolute unit.
Yes, he has.
Of a player. He's showing why he deserved that paycheck that he, right? Like, we may have had a little bit of reservations about that contract whenever it first got announced.
Yeah.
However, he's playing well. He's playing good. So, yeah, no, James Cook higher on essentially 69 yards. Let's go.
Very nice.
Next one is going to be involving college football, and that is going to be another run. And that is going to be Ahmad Hardy out of Mizzou, which if you did not see Ahmad Hardy last week, 4 tutties by himself. He's phenomenal. He's great. So I have him on higher than half a rushing or receiving touchdown. He's just got to get a touchdown. Any sort of touchdown. And he's good. I have the utmost faith that Ahmad Hardy will get that one. That is probably going to be my leg that hits perfectly A-okay.
I think you got that one for sure.
My third one is the one that's a little bit, a little questionable, a little weird, but we have faith. Jake Browning, higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns. He's got to have 2 passing touchdowns next week. So 14 of the points for this, not next week, this weekend's game 14 of the points against Minnesota has to at least be passing touchdowns from Jake Browning. I don't think that's unrealistic. I think it's going to be difficult. I think that is what's going to make or break my parlay, is the Jake Browning passing touchdowns.
Absolutely. I mean, that's where your odds are. That's where, like, James Cook and Ahmad Hardy, those are, like, pretty free. Those are, like, the ones you throw on there to win a little bit of money. The majority of your money is coming from the Jake Browning ones here. And honestly, dude, in his career when he's come in, it's just been the picks. He throws a lot of picks, but he also puts up points. That's his big flaws. He just throws a lot of interceptions. So I don't hate that. I really don't. On my end of things, I'm going with something a little bit similar, but two of my legs are coming tonight when Buffalo stomps and squishes the fish. Devon Achane, higher than 39.5 receiving yards. Not rushing yards.
There it is.
And I say this because the last two times we played against the Dolphins, even when they were bad last year, and Tua died in that first matchup. Look, they get him the ball in the passing game a lot. He is a really, really, really good receiving back. I mean, that's what he does. He's fast. He makes guys miss. He gets yak. And against our team tonight, where we're not really going to have much of a pass rush or people on the edge to kind of seal him off, I think he's going to go for a lot of yards, and hopefully it's through the air so I can get my parlay in. James Cook, he's scoring a tutty tonight. Man, he scored 2 tutties to start the year. Well, in both of the games, I should say, he's scored a tutty. Why not again? I mean, he's going to break one at some point. It's only a matter of time. Our O-line's not injured. I shouldn't have said that, by the way. That's bad. I'm sorry, every Buffalo fan out there. My bad. I shouldn't have said that. Dude, he's going to get some space. I mean, the Dolphins can't stop the run. They just can't do it. It's something they're struggling with right now. They don't have the talent on the roster. Their defense is checked out. And eventually, James Cook's going to break one, or we're going to get down in the red zone, and he's going to score. And then Cade Klubnik. People before the year were like, dude, look out for this guy. He's NFL material. And, as a casual fan, I'm like, I'm interested. Let's see what he's got. I've watched him play a few times this year because he's been in prime time, and he's let me down. I don't think he's good. I really don't think Cade Klubnik's good. Is he like the worst thing you can do as a college quarterback? No, but is he going to be a first-round pick? Definitely not. I just don't feel it. And look, he hasn't gone, and I get it's only been 2 games to start the year here, but he hasn't gone over 270 yards since last year. And actually, it's been 3 games so far this year. I'm tripping.
Yeah.
It's the end of the show. I'm running out of steam here. But look at his career. Yeah, he's put up some touchdowns. He's had some really nice games, but he's never been a guy who gets a bunch of passing yards. And Syracuse is not an amazing football team, but Cade Klubnik should go lower on that one. They're going to find another way to win the game. They'll run the ball. They'll check it down. They'll slowly, methodically beat them because he's just not going over that. Anyways, that's all for Battle of the Bets. I'm putting 40 on this, by the way. I don't know if you saw that. I'm only going to have 10 left for next week. I'm confident. I like this parlay. I want to put it out of reach here.
Go big or go home.
Yeah. I mean, I'm winning. I want to put it out of reach because I know what you're going to do the last week. It's going to be the long odds, and you're going to be trying to put something together if I get up. If I don't get up, I'm only up $102, and you could come right back with a normal parlay and take the lead. So I need some more money here. I need more moolah. That's all for Battle of the Bets.
I need to get started. I haven't won anything since we started the show. I need to do something.
Burning cash.
I am at -1 after this week, -175. I need to win this week to essentially get to, what is it, negative 40.
Something
I'll
like
need
that.
to win this week to get to like -45 or something like that, or like -35. I need this just so that way I'm still in the red, but double digit in the red, not triple digit in the red.
Hey, 99% of gamblers quit before they hit it big, man. At some point,
right? Hey, yeah. What is that one meme? It's like the guy that quit mining right before he hit diamonds. That's me, baby. I'm not turning around just yet.
Well, luckily it's not real money. So if you're confused at home, it's fake money, not coming out of our pockets.
No. Purely hypothetical.
We're going to move into wins and losses. And we already touched on a lot of it. So, Jet, if you don't mind, I'm just going to go really fast on this because I already talked about a lot of the playoff race so far this year.
If you want to do MLB, I'll actually take NFL standing.
Well, Oh, yeah, I guess I do need to pull those up. So I guess we'll have to go back after this. Look, it's the same shit, different week. It hasn't changed. The Blue Jays on top of the East. The Central, it's the Tigers. And then the Mariners on top of the West thanks to another win today. But big matchup coming up against the Astros is going to decide the fate of these two teams. I am concerned with the Tigers, though. You had Skubal go down the other day. He should come back. But you lost 3 in a row. You're struggling. You need to pick up the pace. Since the All-Star break, I have not been impressed. And I really want to see the Tigers or a Detroit team in general win a championship. So please figure it out. And then in the National League, it's the Brewers on top, the Dodgers, and the Phillies. The Padres are just mid. Pure mid. They cannot get out of their own way. They're like constantly right there behind the Dodgers, but it seems like when the Dodgers lose, they lose. Dodgers win, they win. The Cubs have clinched the playoffs. Good for them. Still hate you. Go fuck yourself. And the Brewers as well. Man, you're ringless. I feel bad for you. I mean, in my lifetime, I've been a Blues fan. Didn't have a ring until 2019. I'm a Bills fan right now. Still don't have a ring. I'm a part-time Mariners fan. Haven't even made the World Series over there. I feel bad for you. You're still in my division. I hate your fan base. Get out of here. And then the wild card. Let's look at the wild card here. The final few spots. People are trying to get in. The Mets stunk it up for such a long time that we had all these teams we talked about. They're not going to make it. These teams shouldn't be in. Now the Diamondbacks are 2 back. The Reds are 2.5. The Giants are 2.5. The Mets are just throwing away the season, man. They're throwing in the towel. 3-7 in their last 10. It's a little rough. But also, this week, we had some teams get eliminated. The Orioles, Athletics, Angels, Twins, Pirates, and Nationals have now been eliminated. I mean, let's be real. We knew this was coming the entire year.
Yeah.
They're not good teams. But now it is official. That is all for wins and losses on the baseball side of things. You can start talking about the standings, but I got to pull them up for the NFL because I forgot we were doing that. I guess it's later in the season. We should probably start talking about it a bit.
I know.
That's on me for not preparing.
All good. We're going to start on the AFC side, and your top 4 teams on the AFC are the ones that are still technically undefeated going into week 3, and it is probably the weirdest mix-up of teams that you would probably guess to be at the top of the AFC, and that is the Buffalo Bills, to be expected with Josh Allen in that offense. Good job on Buffalo Bills. They're the top team in the AFC right now. The Indianapolis Colts come in at number 2, 2-0. They are 2-0 at home. They're 2-0 in their conference. They are absolutely dominating right now, thanks to Indiana Jones, shockingly. 3rd place, Cincinnati Bengals, but this is now Cincinnati Bengals without Joe Burrow. So we'll see how long they last at the top of the stands. And then 4th place is the Los Angeles Chargers. I don't get it. I don't understand the turnaround from last year with the Chargers. Yeah, they're great. After that, Raiders, Ravens, Steelers, Broncos, Patriots, Jacksonville, they're all at 1-1. They're there. And then I think the most shocking that is winless right now is but we'll see how that goes. Swapping over to the NFC side, though, Packers are your number 1, Niners are your number 2, Eagles are your number 3, shockingly. Niners are on top of the Eagles for the first time in like 2 years. However, I think the most shocking part is we have on the AFC had 4 undefeated teams. The NFC has 6. And the Cardinals are one of them.
Yeah.
The Cardinals are one of the undefeated teams.
And you think they're going to lose to Mac Jones?
I think they're going to lose to Mac Jones.
That's
guaranteed.
That's not guaranteed. There's a reason why we both went different on that.
And then there's the usual suspects at the bottom of the NFC, though, and that is the Aints, the Panthers, the Bears, and the Giants. You can always rely on those 4 being at the bottom of the NFC all the time. But yeah, that's pretty much the standings for football. It's going to be pretty bare bones for right now, but obviously we'll get more into it as the season progresses. Week 3 of NFL football is this weekend. Starting tonight, squish the fish.
Yeah, we got to squish the fish. And you're coming over to my place. We're going to watch. I know one of our biggest viewers, my friend, he's a Dolphins fan. He's not feeling the love right now from his team. So maybe tonight they pull off an upset, and then I end up crying myself to sleep. But That is all for this episode of Zuggy Zone. I just thank you guys all so much for tuning in. I know we're a small show. We don't get a bunch of viewership, but the people that do show up, you're voting in the polls, you're leaving some stuff in the chat, and that's all that we can ask for. So from Jet and I, thank you guys. And we got 5 seconds till the music drops. Jet, say something.
Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. See you next week.